Hello folks, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm back in here and I'm gonna bake a cake, but I'm gonna do something that you guys may have not ever seen done before. I'm gonna take this one cake mix and I'm gonna make two layers with it. I'm putting the cake mix in here and I got my eggs. And I'm only putting, it calls for 3 eggs, but I'm only going to use 2 in mine because I've used 3 before and it usually doesn't turn out right. So here's 2 eggs, folks. I'm going to dump that in there. And then I'm going to take a half a cup of this olive oil, which is what the directions call for. Okay, there's a half a cup of olive oil. And then it calls for 1.5 cups of, 1 cup of water. And I'll get that over here. And you preheat your oven, folks, to 350. And I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, I got my oven preheated to 350. And then I'll take the cake and start mixing it up. And I'm gonna hand mix my cake, folks. I've got this little beater here. I'm just gonna take it and whip it up. It's a strawberry cake, folks. See? Like that, Pillsbury. I like Pillsbury, it's a pretty good product. But remember I told y'all I was gonna fix a cake. I was just hesitating because I know I'm not supposed to eat it. But we know we can't fix something without trying it, right, folks? And you just keep taking this whipper thing and you whip it up till all the lumps are out. That's gonna be good, folks. Just whip it for a few minutes and make sure you get all the flour and all the mixture mixed up. Just keep stirring it. I've always just used 2 eggs, folks. I tried 3 eggs one time, and I think it makes the cake so moist that it falls apart. And I don't want it to fall apart because I'm going to do my icing stuff, you know. And then once I get it mixed up, I'll dump a little bit in this skillet right here. I'm just making a 2-layer cake with 1 box of cake mix. I think that'll be plenty, folks. You know, I've done this before and it turns out pretty good. It might not be as high as a normal cake, but you know, I don't need to eat that much cake anyway, folks. And it also helps you, you know, it helps you to save on your cake mixes. Like if you decide that you want to fix one cake now and one cake later, because I got two cake mixes that I could use, but me and my husband don't really need that much cake, so I'm just going to fix it with one box, folks, because it's only going to be me and him eating off of it, and I don't want it to get wasted, you know. And I'm using my farm fresh eggs, folks. No store-bought eggs. Now we gotta wait for the oven to preheat. I should have went ahead and preheated the oven before I started, but I didn't. It's hot. Hot, 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 hot. I had a pan in there, I had to take it out, folks, and that sucker's hot. I'll put these over here to be washed and put the eggs back. I always try to clean up my mess as I go so I don't have to work harder, folks, you know. Nothing to a cake, folks. Only thing is you gotta let a cake cool off before you put the icing on it. That's the only thing. But that's okay, we'll do it later, folks. Put this back. And put the grease back. Folks, if you go buy a cake in the store, right now it costs you about $22 for a good sized cake. But here's the icing that I'm going to put on it when it's cooled off. It's cream cheese. I love cream cheese, folks. I could probably eat one piece of it, but I wouldn't be able to sit and eat cake all the time, you know. Hi, folks. We're having fun and cooking right now. As soon as that oven goes off, we'll be sitting there and putting the cake in the oven and letting it bake. And we'll just sit here and wait for it to get, you know, baked, and then we'll put it to the side and let it cool off a little bit, and then dump it in a plate and start over. And here's my extra cake mix. I'll get a lid and put it on top of that bowl. That's just to keep anything from getting in it till it gets baked. But you know, when it gets done, folks, I'll rinse this little stir thing up, the thing that I stirred it with. I'll rinse it off and redo it again. Waiting on that oven, folks. It's gonna be good, though. I love strawberry cake, folks. I went down the cake all one day and I seen that strawberry cake and I was like, I know I'm not supposed to eat cake, but I just gotta have a strawberry cake. And what you could do, folks, is if you want to decorate your cake, you could put your icing after your cake cools off. You put your icing on your cake, and if you like to have it decorated with some kind of fruit that you like, you could take strawberries and cut them up and put them around the cake on top. I'm not going to do that with this one, folks. I'm just going to bake the cake and put the icing on it. We're just about there. It's almost on 350, folks. And how I've always tested a cake is after it bakes for so long, I take a fork or something and stick down in it and see if the fork comes out clean. And that's how you find out if the cake's done. Or if you got a big toothpick, you could stick that down in there, and if it comes up clean, then it's done. I love them little hand stirrers, folks. I got a mixer, but if I used my mixer, I'd have to get the little things that goes to it and put it on there, and they're put away somewhere. I'm thinking about taking that thing off the midway counter because we need the extra space up there. And I hardly ever use it, so I'm just always used to doing things the hard way, I guess, folks. I'm not no fancy smancy person. I just do it and get it done. There's about how much I put in my skillet, if you can see it. I don't want to turn it too much because it might mess up the cake. It's up to about right here. And when it starts rising, it should be up farther than that. Okay, our oven's preheated. We put it in the oven, folks. See how long it says to cook it. "34 to 38 minutes. We'll say 34 minutes. Okay, we're going to cook the cake 34 minutes, folks. And pull it out of the oven and see if it's done. And, then we'll take it and stick it with a fork and bring the fork back up, see if the fork's clean, and if it does, it's done. But I would think that 34 minutes should be plenty on a cake, folks. It's been a while since I baked a cake. And, I'm not really a pastry person. And so I don't bake cakes or pies or anything like that, but I do know how to bake one of those chicken pot pies. I know how to do one of them because I done one of them back when I was married to my second husband. And he really liked it. He said it turned out real good, and he ate just about that whole pie, folks. And that's been years ago. I haven't made one of them for a long time. But we're waiting on the cake to come out of the oven. And hopefully it ain't like they say, if you open the oven door, it might fall, the cake might be crooked. But it's in there. What we might do, folks, is we might end this video here pretty soon. And what we'll do is I'll bring you back on here once the cake gets done. And we'll redo that second layer and let it bake too. And then we'll have to let it cool off. And then I'll put the icing on it. Well, thank you for joining my YouTube channel, folks. You're awesome and you got this, folks. Bye-bye.